back in 2011, I was being paralyzed by debt. So in desperation, found Dave Ramsey's method, and systematically over the past 12 years have turned it completely around. So my question is, now that my wife and I have done that, we have 2 small children, we're kind of very, very frugal with our money. We save about 90%, give or take, a month of what we earn. And now we have a different problem, is learning to live a little bit. So
you're still
that
living
was
out
my
of
main question.
You're still living out of a trauma response, brother.
Yeah, I think it's, just fear. Obviously, there's a lot of guilt, success guilt. And I know this is, I was a success story with this. And so now we're in this different stage of the recovery. And it's great. And it's a good problem to have. But have other people experienced this, and it's kind of this unknown for me, is how to give a little.
Yeah. Did you we could probably get sidetracked here, so I'll keep my question pretty direct. Did you have a pretty chaotic childhood?
No, I think we had my parents were in debt a lot. We had motorcycles. My dad kept us active all the time. And so, it was just kind of, we certainly didn't live within our means. So that obviously was learned by me. And then, then I got into medical school and I got tremendous amount of debt. And it was really every day I was waking up with mounting debt and the interest climbing. And so it was in 2011, I just had that massive realization that, I need to change something. I need to have goals.
Are you a physician, Nick?
Yeah.
All right. So my academic research, my nerd work was, simply put, I studied people who other people in the community go to for help and care.
Okay.
I studied the mental health of attorneys and medical personnel and pastors, folks that other people go to. And what I would tell you is, you had a big debt issue, but my guess is you have a broader issue, because and you know this pathologically speaking, and I want to not get too nerdy for our audience here, but if you've got a body responding to trauma, if you've got a body that is living in an anxious ecosystem, the moment you knock off anxiety 1, your brain just moves on to anxiety 2 and to 3. So your body was telling you, probably, we owe a lot of money, we haven't slept in a long time, I'm suddenly being in charge of keeping people alive or well, I'm trying to navigate a family, I'm trying to navigate a crazy political ecosystem, all those things happening all at the same time. And so the alarm system that spins up in your body, it's almost like throwing darts, and it says, it's the money. And then you live like a maniac because you're Nick and you can. And you'll pay this thing off. And without addressing that core anxiety, almost OCPD, you get underneath all that, and then your body just moves on to the next one. So now the problem is you've left your community behind. You've become one of them, Nick. And then you don't know how to have joy in your life. And then once you start having fun, it's just going to move on to the next until you deal with that lower level identity shift, which is, we weren't safe, we are now. And that is a different conversation than, can you give us a 3-step plan to go have more fun? Do you see what I'm saying? This is about creating a non-anxious home for Nick and his wife and his kids. And that will make you a better...
Well, you're on point there. Everything you said, it's very true.
So what I've seen professionally and just walking alongside people is, the further upriver you can get to create... Here's the fun exercise. You and your wife go out for a half-day retreat, and y'all get to do something that probably never happened in either of your homes, which is y'all get to plan and dream about the future. Y'all crossed this finish line, you survived, you paid off all your debt, you got everything right-sized in your home, and now y'all are playing pickleball for the first time. You've never played this game. You don't know the rules. And so y'all have to practice. Y'all got to figure this thing out. And so what kind of home, what do we want it to feel like when you walk home, honey? Here's what I want to feel like when I walk in the front door. How can we create this home that is warm or that is funny or that is joyful? And we're going to reverse engineer that and begin to come up with this home, this non-anxious life. She might look at you like my wife did me and say, I want you to stop working so much. Or I want you to love us at least as much as your clients or patients or the folks that you are coaching. And that was hard for me. And I asked her, like, here's what I need and here's what I want. And we addressed that stuff. And dude, I'm telling you, the anxiety alarms, they melted along the way. And having joy and having fun and creating a date night and making, okay, we're going to have to spend X amount of dollars because 90% is mathematically insane. So let's back it down to 70 and we are going to practice spending this 20%. We're going to go on a date and we're going to buy a real nice meal and we're going to feel uncomfortable about it. And we're both going to call it out with a smile on our face. I feel uncomfortable. I feel uncomfortable. I feel guilty. I feel guilty. And maybe we tip the waitress $100 on a $100 meal just because we can. But we're going to begin to feel that and own it and metabolize it so that we can transition to this new identity, which is a couple that's not running for our lives and a couple that's not anxious all the time, but we are a couple who is living peacefully into the future. How does that sound?
Wow. Man, that is awesome. It's my dream. So, well, I really appreciate your time.
No, you got it.
Thanks for calling, Nick.
Yeah, I mean, here's the magic words. Go out on a retreat and create a new identity for Nick's home. Who are we, honey? Who do we want to be? Who do we get to be now? The second thing is I want you all to be highly intentional about setting a certain amount of money a month to give away. And I want you to see that gift. I want you to see the eyes light up when you give that money away. Don't just write checks and send them via email. And the third thing is I want y'all to set aside some money that y'all are going to practice spending on yourselves. And hang on the line. I want to get your address. I've got a new book coming out in October called Building a Non-Anxious Life. And I'm going to send you the first copy that I get. I'm going to mail it to you as my gift when it comes in. Dude, you got exciting things ahead of you, man. I'm proud of the work you are doing to change your family tree, my brother. We'll be right back.